welcome to episode 3, featuring Sam. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? My name is Samuel Navarro. I am a 23-year-old Hispanic guy.
Very.
Right now, I'm getting out of a cold, so
You're a little under the weather?
I'm a little under the weather, yeah.
Dude, what you been doing?
Oh, man. Enjoying life, man. Enjoying life. Enjoying the beauty of being 23 and, doing whatever the heck,
What does being young mean to you? Like right now, what do you feel like you should be doing at 23?
That's the thing, man. It's like there's not an answer to that because everyone has their own journey. And I feel like at 23, I can say that I've definitely, like, some person, like, I was talking to actually someone the other day, and it's like this girl, and she was like, oh, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll figure that out. You'll get out of that hole. You'll grow. Like, this is like, everyone's in a different season. For me right now, I'm in a season where I'm like, where I'm enjoying what I do, what I love, and I get paid for it, and I get to serve and the community. I get to serve the church, and I get to serve with some of the greatest people. I think some of my best friends, and it's incredible. I look around the office and I'm like, all I see is young faces, and I think we're all where we're supposed to be. Maybe in 5 years from now we're not going to be here, but we're enjoying life together.
Mm-hmm.
So
two steps back. What do you do?
So I'm a production lead director.
I think production director is your
yeah.
title.
So I'm like there's a production director, and then I'm right below him where's a production director assistant.
Yeah.
Where it's actually Rob.
Mm-hmm.
And so
big caveat, this is for New Life Church down here in South King County, Renton.
Yes.
Clarification for anyone who's listening.
New
Sorry,
Life Renton Church. So I for the most part just take care of all the production side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Where if there's any events, if there's any things that include audio, music, mics, I take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't find an audio person, or if that person is not scheduled, then I run audio for the most part. And then same thing with if there's someone that's lights, cameras, then I'll go ahead and step in and take care of that role.
Yeah.
So pretty much we have about, I want to say, roughly 8 to 10 volunteers a week, every weekend.
So you're running a solid crew. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely a decent chunk of people.
Yeah, man, and they're actually also great because it's all volunteer based, and so we pretty much just everyone that wants to serve, they're able to serve, and we train them up. Mm-hmm. And it's not like we send you out there and just like, all right, go ahead and take control of a camera.
Yeah.
We give them the right tools, we give them the right things to do it, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes it takes a 5-minute lesson to move a camera, or sometimes it's a training of a week, Yeah. But it's all just depends, I think, on the person. Like we always go back to that. It all just depends on where you're at, and I think, like, for me, funny enough, the guy that was Daniel Bender was actually one of the first people that I met coming to this when I first decided to move here. And he was like, man, like, just go for it. Don't be scared. Just
do it.
Be confident in yourself. Be confident in what you do. And I've taken a lot from that. And now, exactly a year now, I'm here, where I would have never thought.
Yeah. You said in the beginning that it's okay to not know what you're doing right now or what really season you're in. Just since we're so young, just to kind of explore and figure out. How did you figure out how to get here right now?
I was open. I think for the most part, we're always scared of making moves that we don't see any end to it. Like, oh, maybe it's not gonna pay enough, or oh, what am I actually gonna do there? Mm-hmm. For me, it was like, I worked in retail for about 3 years. I loved it. I was pretty decent at it. I would sell cell phones. Worked at Costco, Sam's Club, 24-hour fitness as a sales, and it was fun, you know. But I got to a season where I'm just like I'm not growing, so
Yeah.
I need to get out of this field, and I went into being a maintenance technician, and for that it was also very fun because it was like completely different. My schedule was very different from what it used to be, and then I was there for probably a little bit less than a year, and same thing. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I tried this. I enjoyed it, but like you said, I'm young. I need to grow, and I need to find something that I'm actually passionate about.
Yeah.
And the entire time I was still being a pretty much a full-time volunteer here at the church, where I would volunteer every weekend, 3 services. Back then we had
That's when we still had the
5 p.m.
Yeah,
So it was morning service, which is 9, 10:30, 12, and then we waited all the way to the 5 p.m. service, and that was just like, it was tough. I loved it, but it was tough.
It was a long day.
It was a very long day.
days.
So then also that, and then Tuesdays for our young adults group, and then Wednesdays for next gen that I would volunteer, and then Thursdays rehearsals. So I'm like, a 9 to 5 job, then my commute to the church. So it was a full-time volunteer job. So I decided to just, you know what, like, I'm gonna make it noticeable. I'm gonna work my butt off to get what I want. Not get what I want, but in a way
be in the place that you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that kind of having those expectations from the get-go actually limits the potential of a situation? Like you said, you know, kind of asking the question, am I getting paid enough? Am I doing the right thing? Do you think that some of those questions overcomplicates the situation to a point where we don't actually get the true value if we just go in working, a ton, just grinding, and then not expecting as much?
I think nowadays, we shouldn't expect anything, but we should do it for the passion, for our own passion. For me, the volunteering in production since I was 14, I never would have thought, and it was never a dream because it was an impossible dream.
Yeah.
To do production, but I think I limited myself the entire time, and because I never saw myself capable of it. And even to this point, I don't think I'm eligible to my position. Like, I'm not, like, just being realistic. I think there's way better people out there that are better than me, that are probably more dedicated than me. But for me, it goes back to my season and where God wants me.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I've gone through too much in my life to not put God first, and not put God like in the plans where I'm at. So for me, it's like I love, and I'm so grateful for what God has done in me and my family, and what is the best way possible that I can give. And for me, it's volunteering. It was volunteering. And then when I got the opportunity to work here, I was like, I can volunteer and praise God. Wow. Tuesday mornings, it's like I gotta clock in and go to chapel and listen to Pastor Troy or whoever, Pastor Vinny, Pastor Brian talk and do worship.
Vision.
It's like, what? It's like,
this is work. This is my
this is
day-to-day.
work. It's like go to a coffee shop, have a meeting about production, something that I usually talk about on the daily.
Yeah.
And be on the clock. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take this any time of the day.
Dude, getting paid for what you love is
like, yeah,
it's a game changer.
It's very cliche,
Yeah.
but it's like you don't work.
Yeah.
It's not a job.
It's a completely different mindset of it flips the script of what am I getting, like, you know, like people want to be like, oh, I want to make sure that, you know, work is this amount of hours, so I'm getting my value out of my work versus dude, I'm just pouring into the thing that I love, and the fact that I get to pour into is like half the fun.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. And it's like, for me, it's like I've gone probably, like, I want to say about 15 to 16 days of just being just being here every single day.
Yeah.
And it's like events or just for fun. It's like, but every day I wake up and I'm thankful and I'm like just happy to come. Like, it might sound like, nah, no one's really ever happy to wake up. Like in the morning, like I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I'm like, actually, like once I like get up and just, start getting the day started, I'm excited, and I've never been like that, and it's never been like that for any other jobs. So I'm very grateful and blessed to be here. And I mean, with you too, man, like
it's fun. Dude, I one of my favorite things is getting to walk around the office with so many young people there, because that's something I've in a lot of my previous jobs where I was the youngest. Like in the job before I came to the church, I was at a small firm, and everyone there had been in the field for 15 something years. I mean, the firm started because everyone was tired of the industry and they wanted to do their own thing. So, and I was like, I don't know the industry. I'm cool with like whatever. I didn't have the same expectations, and so I think here, and I mean specifically talking with you sometimes about it, because I mean, our fields overlap pretty often. I think it's fun to be in a place where the people that you're working with have a similar perspective, where you're like, you're like, I'm so young. Yeah. Because that keeps me really grounded, especially because I feel like I think way too far in the future, like too far for my own good. Yeah. Where I'm like, why am I not 35 and in this spot? Yeah. I'm like, I am barely hitting on 2 years out of school in the middle of this whole thing. Like, dude, look back. Yeah. Look at how far, stuff has already happened. How far things have already come. The journey has already been insane, and that's been 1/10 of your lifetime. Like stuff takes time to develop, but at the same time, so much can happen in such a short time.
Oh, I agree.
You just don't know. Yeah. You really don't know.
I mean, to think of it, 5-6 years ago, exactly, in September, October area, I was in a hospital bed. Didn't think I would make it to 5 years, It's things like that I'm so grateful for, and that having a job, living on my own, having a car paid off at 23, it's like, what? Like, you don't expect it, and I think it's that you're open to growth. Yeah. Because I had no. It's actually funny. One of our buddies, Andrew, is like, what he's doing right now, that really impacted me. It's like, he's going into continue studying and studying the Bible and going into a Christian college, university, and it's like, dude, he quit his job, which was a great job, and
he had a really promising time there. So
I mean, those type of jobs get paid well. Yeah, but it's like the lifestyle. It's like, do you really want to have a lifestyle that's so it's a routine, So, yeah, man. I think one of the other things, it's like, especially for us young people, and it's something that it's hard, but it's got to be done. Is to be open to coaching, to be open to learn from other people. Yeah. And I think a lot of us nowadays, we feel, especially in our field, we can feel cocky, or we can feel like, oh, like we are already here, like no one can tell us anything. Like
there's already kind of a barrier for entry, and you feel like once you kind of hop that, you're like, all right, I'm good. But it's like, no, you have like 6 or 7 more that are 3-4 times as high that you have to jump.
And it's like, and then it's like, for me, it's like, I love learning from Rob, from all my other buddies. That's like, they're all in the same field. That's what I love. It's like, a lot of my buddies, they're in the same field. They're grinding. They're doing what they can to pay the bills, but they're also loving music, producing music, and traveling and doing what they can. But it's like, I try to pick different things from each individual, and like try to make it my own. But I feel like we're never gonna really grow unless we let ourselves grow and let ourselves be guided. Yeah. And I think we have a great group of people here that can guide us to grow.
Honestly, one of the things that I feel like I'm kind of struggling with right now is having some sort of creative mentor, specifically within my field, because right now I kind of am the end stop for most of the design here at New Life, and so it's kind of I have to kind of pull from friends who are in the field or kind of people I know. But I think it would really be awesome to have someone in really close proximity that I could go to who's been 15, 20 years in the design world, and be able to kind of just learn from that, because I think that's the one really dry area in my life right now that I'm struggling to kind of figure out with work, because I've always really heavily relied on mentors. I've always found that having someone to fall back on for help, for advice, like it's the best way to live. You can't live without people in an older and a younger generation in your life. You have to have people pouring into and out of towards someone else. But I mean, as far as like leadership and mentorship, like that's all there. I just think there's just a little bit of a niche skill set where I'm like,
and I feel like there's many people that are in that that are in the position. I think it's that are in your position. I think it's just it's tough, because like you want to grow and in that field, but it's like there's just
there's no one size fits all situation where it's like we have fantastic leadership mentors here, and I mean amazing leadership and discipleship here. But
spiritual leaders, man, like it's all over the place. Like I love it, because it's like I can go to each individual and they can just talk life into me. They can talk, they can motivate me, and I feel like for me it's like, for the most part, Rob is probably he's the only one that actually would understand. And for him, it's like when I haven't, and I know what you get, and I know what you mean, because it's like when I have an issue, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call Rob, and Rob's like, yeah, man, do this, or sometimes he's like, figure it out, man. He's like, let's see, like, make it your own, and let's see what you can do, and figure it out. Like, you know how to do this. It's like, so it's like motivating me and pushing me to the next level.
I mean, it's a kind of a soft hand motivation, but a hard hand, like, hey, look, you have to be responsible for the situation. I can point you in the right direction. I can give you like a northwest, east, south, but you're the one who's got to walk that path.
And I think it's great, because just like at 23, I need that. And so do you at 23. 22, 23, right?
I know we're 23, dude.
Yeah, see?
When's your birthday?
April.
Yeah, I'm June, so we're real close.
Oh, we hung out.
We did. Yeah, we did.
We hung out for your birthday.
Did go out for birthday,
It was a fun day. Yeah.
That's good. Well,
All the boys.
I'm sure we'll have another day.
Oh, definitely.
I want to backpedal a little bit. I mean, you've done, I think a while ago you were doing, you kind of do some side stuff for sound and production. So any kind of more events that aren't specifically kind of church based. Have you done any recently in the past, like, couple months or so?
Honestly, like, I've been wanting to, because that just throws you out there, and it's a completely like different environment, and I feel like just being able to be in those environments is great. Because it stretches you out. I have not in the past few months, because it's so busy. Like,
you work a lot of hours.
Like I was here this morning. I was here last night. I was out and about yesterday filming some other stuff. Then I was here Thursday. It's like, it's just, I love it.
Look, you're still grinding one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still doing something.
So that's one of my things that I think it sucks, because it's like I hate being this person, but it's one of the things that I'm gonna work for next year, and just open more space for me to just go out and explore, and still be very well
rooted in
what
your
here.
day-to-day is.
So it's definitely a motivating thing to do, and I want to do it.
How this is something that I've kind of run up against too in work, is the idea of kind of, you have paid employees versus volunteers. And I mean, I'm sure some people who either have their own firm or have worked with other people before, it's when there's a dynamic of we're all being paid by the same company, there's some accountability that you can kind of build into that and say, here's our common standards as far as how we work and what we do, and there is someone who can have the final say because you're all underneath this, like leadership structure. With volunteers, you really can't apply that same mentality where, I mean, the fact that if you asked to pay them, it would probably actually ruin their experience because they're doing it out of,
because more is
their act of
expected.
service.
Yeah. And more is expected. When I became an employee here, I realized that there was a lot expected from me, and there was a moment that I'm like, am I even, like, this is not me. And for almost a second, I almost lost touch of what my motivation to being here was, and lost my love towards it.
Once money got introduced?
Yeah. But because it was like all these other side things that I didn't have to take care of when I was a volunteer. But now I grew to love what I do too much, to the point that all those things on the side is just like cleaning the side stage or cleaning the sound booth. It's like I gotta keep my work area clean, and I gotta keep my, everything presentable and for the volunteers.
If you don't do your job, other people can't do theirs.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like it looks bad on me. So I'm like, what's the best way that people can view me and my job? It's like it's kind of like your car. It's like what's in your trunk. Whatever's in your trunk is the type of person you are, right? Or how clean it is. Actually, I
need to clean my car.
Yeah, so do I. I'm like, actually, that's not a good.
Dude, we're kicking off fall. No one cares. Everything just feels like wet and dirty. There's bits of like leaves stuck in everything.
Yeah.
I need
this is honestly one of my favorite seasons, though.
It is a great season.
It's like I was actually telling Rob, I really want to stick a GoPro in the back of my car and just drive on a curve and see all the leaves fly.
There's so many
I'm like,
good areas for that.
I want to be that guy.
You want to be that guy?
Yeah,
dude,
man.
Go for it. Create.
Yeah. Right?
That's why I started this. I was like, I just want to make something. If you have even if it's like that idea, dude, post that on TikTok. You'll get a lot of views.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Dude, you can throw up whatever on TikTok and someone will look at it.
That's true. Yeah.
Seriously. Even if it's like decently cool. Like there's a ton of photographer accounts that just show like 10 seconds of behind the scenes of how the photo was made. 100,000 views.
Wow.
100,000.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That's pretty intense. That's awesome.
So
I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to take it to that next level, but
you just gotta make something, throw out there, dude. Video would pair perfect with what you do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that's like the next evolution.
Yeah.
For you is to like just do some stuff there.
Yeah, and I think it's funny you mentioned that, because like I was thinking about that the next day. I'm like, what's like, obviously I love audio, I love the production side of things.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm growing in all of them, but what's next? I'm like, what am I gonna be motivated more by? And one of the things was mixing and having gigs out of where my comfort zone, and also it's probably getting more into video and photography, and it's funny because like the way I saw Daniel kind of function in this same office, it's like it was so motivating, because like you just saw the passion he had, and he would be editing a video or filming something and be like, oh, okay, the band's here, okay, let's go mix, or okay, let's go get them all ready,
shift gears. And
I'm like, wow, that's he's got gas in there, man. Because like some people cannot like go
they just can't put out like that. It's
a lot.
Putting out that much content and anything. I mean, he, for every 1 hour that was at work, there was 2 hours of either his own social or mixing for like bands, or for like so many other things. He had so many side projects. It was nuts.
Yeah, so, which I respect,
dude. It's mad respect.
Yeah. So he's out there hustling, man. And he's a huge motivator in my life.
That's why I had him on first episode. I was like, I need to like document this and get this down.
Yeah, man. So and it's funny because like he's around our age too.
Yeah.
And it's like that just shows you that we're not too far away, and if you do feel like you're too far away, it's okay. Like,
it's so okay.
you'll get out of that season soon.
You could be 32 and still young.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, because I feel like people are like, oh well, and I feel like people are gonna say, well, no, it's not okay to just to be in that season of not doing anything or not knowing what you want to do. It's like, it is, but don't stay there. Like, motivate yourself to not stay in that season. Like, look at yourself and see how you are in that season, and motivate yourself and to not be there.
Shift gears and get out.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's like, now for me, it's like, I know how I was in that season.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not gonna go back there because I know now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's better to know yourself, how you are and where you are, than not knowing and being scared of falling and being comfortable and content.
I mean, if you're not pushing yourself, you're liable to regress, man. And that just drains all sorts of things away from you if you take a step back in life.
Yeah.
And that's in anything. So.
Yeah, man, I agree. So, it's honestly it's just great, man.
Yeah.
It's great doing what you love and just great doing it with the people that you love. Like, for instance, one of my really best friends right now is, I say right now because, you know,
liable to change.
Yeah. No, kidding. No, it's Kanan, you know? And it's like, he's 21 years old, man, and he's out here.
Dude's married,
making man,
music,
going to school, making music, leading worship for RCS, a private school that we have here. And it's like, dude, man, like, I tell you to take a breathe, but you're killing it, man.
There's a lot of people around us that are just hustling.
Yeah,
they're just grinding.
So I feel like that we feed off each other.
Yeah. So
it's like, oh, I see him hustling, I'm gonna hustle too. I'm like, oh, he's happy, I'm gonna be happy too. Like, why am I gonna bring it down? You know. So it's a pleasure, man.
Yeah. Dude, it's also been a pleasure having you on the podcast. All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks a ton.
Thank you so much, man.
Catch y'all later. Yeah.